All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 8, Day 22. We're here with our fourth game, Empire versus Sigma. Should be another good one coming up here. And this is one a little bit more even, I think. I haven't checked the numbers, but I imagine the bets are probably pretty close to 50-50. Statistically, coming in here, Team Empire now going to be 7-5, and Sigma International are doing very well at 7-2. So, going to be a good one indeed. I'm Zyori. With me once again is Cinderin. Any thoughts coming into this game here, buddy?
I think we've got it laid out for us right here. Team Empire is going to first pick Mirana. I think Sigma is a team that's been really one of the reasons why Mirana has become very popular again. Mainly Sigma and Speed Gaming have been the big Mirana pickers in the West before, leading up to and during MLG. Put great use of the laning potential of Mirana as well as the ultimate to perform global ganking. So very nice to see this hero once again. I think it's a very entertaining hero because obviously the arrow skill shot as well as the potential to play aggressively as well as defensively with Moonlight Shadow. It's a very enjoyable hero to watch played. Now Sigma is going to go with Sigma heroes, and the reason I say that is that they're probably the team right now that rates Bane the highest, which isn't really that hard because no other team really rates it anything, I think. We haven't seen it picked at all, I think, in our last 3 days of casting, but Sigma first picking it here in their second phase, so, or sorry, in their, they have second pick, but they're picking it as their first hero there. Interesting.
And they really love that Bane-Mirana combo together, and it will be denied here. I think a multifaceted good first pick for Team Empire. Like you said, a good hero that you can't really go wrong with in most cases, and denying it from Sigma, who probably would have loved to have a Mirana-Bane duo as their first two picks. That's something they tend to do pretty frequently, but yeah, CM and Bane, two supports that they love quite a bit, but all right,
wow.
Empire, ready to give us a show. They're going to second pick Slark. Very excited about this.
Once again, another hero I'm a big fan of watching. And
it's been a while, too. We haven't seen him in the past few days.
I think we saw it like once or twice, but it didn't really have too big of an impact. I think God played it mid against a Dragon Knight from, what team was that again? That was TR, right?
That sounds right. Yeah, I remember that.
And might have seen it a second time as well, but not really picked that frequently. It's actually banned kind of frequently. That's the reason why we don't see it so much. Many teams are banning it, even in the first phase, afraid of the potential Slark has with the new ultimate, of course, making him completely invisible. Detection does not work. Does, however, not make him invulnerable to AoE effect attacks, so you can still hit him with spells like the Crystal Nova that Crystal Maiden has and the Freezing Field. So. Still an interesting pickup, a hero that recently got into CM again after it got removed from CM for a while with the new Shadow Dance, of course, but curious to see how Empire put this to use here.
And maybe important to note here, since Slark was second picked instead of some sort of a crazy fourth or fifth pick wild card, Faceless Void, the ulti, the Chronosphere, does reveal Slark. That is the only thing that I know of, and I think actually the only mechanic that will reveal his newfound state, whatever the proper word is, undetectable, where the Chronosphere does reveal invisible units, and it actually does serve as a trump card to the Slark ultimate. So I don't know that Sigma are going to be bold enough to mix in a Faceless Void, but they are a team that has a reputation for doing well in best of ones, because every so often they have those crazy picks and do something different with their draft. So I won't count it out quite yet, but I still think it's a pretty low chance.
What I would be expecting from Sigma now is probably their mid lane pick. I think Sigma is a team that loves getting strong mid laners. That's why Empire has chosen to ban out OD in the first two. And that opens up, for example, for a Fada Puck, which is... He does very well against pretty much anything. The one hero he really does not want to play against, I think, is the OD, but since that's banned, it's a lot better now, and it's a hero that Empire loves to play as well. They picked it in the last game for Resolution, so that is an option. Could also be going for their offlaner. I don't think they want to show their hand on the carry just yet. I feel like that's something where Sigma have to be a little bit careful here, especially since one of their favorite carries, Lifestealer, I don't think is really good here so far. Not good against Slark, who's really elusive. And Mirana as well, same story, so not really the best. Gyrocopter, arguably not that good here either. It's good, but it's not really...
Yeah, Call Down is okay against
here.
Slark, but
they're gonna get the offlaner first, or maybe mid Timbersaw.
And Timbersaw, another hero that actually does do pretty well against Slark. Anything that is AoE based and not single target does have at least potential to help shut down Slark with that ultimate, and Timbersaw does bring that to the table. So I like the thought process here of grabbing Timbersaw, and like you were just talking about, really doesn't reveal too much of their hand. A pretty standard pick. And we'll see how Empire want to react here. This may be their opportunity just to steal the puck that Fada has a pretty high reputation of playing with a pretty large degree of success. Storm Spirit probably going to be a hero that these teams will consider as well. Both sides like to run Storm Spirit, and so far not a huge amount of hard stuns. So it could be a good Storm game. Weaver as well.
Yeah, I think kind of hard to say what Empire is looking for. They really have to pick supports now because Sigma has already realized what position they're in. They've got 2 strong supports and they've banned out Abaddon and Shadow Demon. So Rubik will be the choice for Team Empire here. A good hero to have against Bane. Instant stun to break the ulti and can of course also steal it with the spell stealing. Another use of him, of course, once again the instant stun against Timbersaw when he's Timber chaining. If you lift him, he doesn't get to go to his target. So that's a really nice counter to deal with a Timbersaw should he go off lane. It's actually very hard for him to get away against the Rubik. We've seen Rubik doing similar things to other offlane heroes. Both the Clockwork's defensive mechanism Cogs, he can lift him out of and toss him on the opposite side of them. And the same with a hero like Mirana, who often got played offlane during a period of time as well. You can catch heroes mid-leap and also Magnus mid-skewer. Same logic for Timbersaw, catch him mid-Timber Chain and keep him in place. So overall, nice pick for a couple of reasons here for Empire. So definitely a solid pickup here getting the Rubik.
Yeah, I still think Puck, that high-value target that Sigma may be considering. And this is that point where they have to get executive. Which way do they want this draft to go? And they still do have plenty of options. There it is. Will be the 4th pick, Puck. Can't say I'm surprised.
No, me neither. I was expecting this as the 3rd or 4th pick for this team, and getting it now, of course, means that Empire know that the Timbersaw most likely isn't mid, and that's a piece of information that they at least can use. If Sigma had picked their carry, then the mid lane would still be uncertain for them. And Enigma. I'm not sure if Empire is going to get away with this that well, because Sigma have good aggressive support, so they can actually both go to the jungle and block off Enigma's jungle with wards, or they could play against the lane that Enigma will have to leave alone for a little while to get that jungle experience up. And I think we're going to see Sigma do either, because they're a team that's not afraid to aggressively try lane. They've done it a lot in the past, especially with their Bane pick. Might be too greedy here. I'm not sure how much I like this Enigma pick right now.
Yeah, and Clockwork is still in the pool, but not a big threat for Empire, I don't think. If only Clockwork could fit into this roster, I think if they had Clockwork over Timbersaw, could be semi-valuable here, but yeah, they're going to need a carry with that final pick. I still think Weaver is a choice they could consider. More stuns are racking up, though, now with the Malefice, as well as that telekinesis we were talking about. Could still be an okay Weaver game if that's the route they want to go. They will ban out the Dragon Knight as a potential last pick for Team Empire, so it is a hard stun taken off the field. If they did want to go that Weaver route, I think that ban does make a lot of sense.
Yep, it's very true. Would have been nice against Weaver, would have been nice against Puck as well. Those direct instant stuns are really a good way of dealing with both Puck, Timbersaw, as well as Weaver, so can definitely agree with that ban now. I don't know, I think Empire will be trying to get a mid-hero who wins alone against Puck, who doesn't need help, because I don't think they can afford helping the mid lane in this game. Not in the first 10 minutes anyway, because they're gonna have their own trouble up top if Sigma goes aggressive here, and we're gonna see Empire will have their last ban now, can choose what carry they don't want to face, because it's completely obvious that that is gonna be the last pick from Sigma, their carry.
Right.
And I would say Weaver is a hero they can deal with. They have Rubik, who can also steal Shikuchi.
And they'll ban out the Gyro.
And they have the stun from Rubik, they have the stun from Enigma, etc. So they will ban out the Gyrocopter, who could have really been a problem here.
Yeah.
And, Sigma. I'm not expecting Lifestealer or Weaver here, to be honest. I think they'll go with something else.
Faceless Void.
The question is what? I don't think we're going to get you the Void you want to see, though.
Yeah.
Would definitely not really work here. I have to think. I can't really... I feel like there's a hero I'm missing here that they would get, but I can't come up with it.
Ah, the Lifestealer.
They are going to go for the Lifestealer. Okay. I did not think they would get that, because it's not that good here against Empire's heroes, but it's very good together with Puck. So maybe that's the reasoning why they think it's worth it. And yeah, good together with Timbersaw. Both of them can carry Lifestealer into battle, but in my opinion, he is not going to have the impact in the game that we've seen Lifestealers have in the past. Also, Sigma has been doing very well with Lifestealer. But I feel like this is not the ideal scenario. There's no real target for him. He can, of course, if he can get on Rubik, that's great. Enigma has Black Hole against him. He's a melee carry. Slark can get away, Mirana can get away, and all of them generally can kind of kite him around here.
Yeah.
And since that's why the Dream Call is going to be important, because that's going to set up Lifestealer to find his target and kill it off. But now even Clockwork is going to make it even harder for the Lifestealer here. And what Empire made this time, that the mistake that they made against Fnatic, I would say that they haven't made here, is that they have enough damage this time. Because now Mirana is not the solo carry, they also have a Slark to deal damage in the mid game. So they can take this late game against what is arguably a single carry Lifestealer on the side of Sigma.
Yeah, and I'm going to second the notion here. I really like this draft of Empire a bit better for all the reasons you pointed out why Lifestealer is going to struggle. That is the biggest difficulty he has, getting right up in your face and getting those right clicks off, especially once that rage is down. And they have so much mobility, also the cogs and ability that work pretty well against Lifestealer.
10 seconds remaining.
They don't have a lot to deal with this Enigma ulti either. Not a lot of interrupts in general. I mean, yeah, they've got the Fiend's Grip, they've got Puck, he has a silence, but I think Enigma going to have a pretty good game here. As long as Empire can do all right in this laning phase and not fall too far behind, as they do have a pretty rigid laning setup with Enigma in the jungle. As long as they hold steady there, I think Empire will be in pretty good shape in this game. But of course, that first checkpoint is a solid laning phase where Sigma could take an edge if they're, well, if they outplay Empire, I guess is the best way to put it.
The problem is, no matter what lane Sigma puts, I feel they won't be able to kill with their lanes that easily. You know, whether it's, I think, yeah, it's Resolution on Slark, so I guess he's mid, and then Silent will probably go top with Mirana. So if Sigma goes for an aggressive trialing, because Lifestealer was their last pick as the carry for that lane, I think it's going to be hard for them to get kills there, and that's a good start for Empire, because that means Enigma can have his jungle unless if it gets blocked.
Yeah.
The only problem is, what if Miggle just goes top on Lifestealer and can actually stand reasonably well alone? Then Pass and Mad together on these two supports, Bane and Crystal Maiden, could give Enigma trouble in the jungle, where he won't be getting too much help out of a Rubik, who is, to be fair, one of the worst supports on low levels at taking these kind of jungle engages, because he has no armor, low damage, and no spell damage either. So he's kind of a very weak support to have for that kind of protection for an Enigma.
Right. That's very true. I'm going to be curious how Sigma will choose to lane this. It looks like that is Fada, right? That's not a stand-in. Let me double-check that profile. I think it's Fada. He was drafting, so I'd be really surprised if it wasn't, but always like to be sure. Every so often. Yeah, that's definitely Fada. Okay, I should have been able to tell by his little Sigma icon. I guess it could have been an imposter.
An imposter.
An imposter.
Doing the draft for Sigma. Sounds unlikely.
So, alright. Looking back, it was stupid for me to question that this was Fada, but we have confirmation nonetheless. Now we know for sure. So we'll see how they do lane. They are going to start off very aggressively here. All 5 members of Sigma grouped up, headed towards that top lane. So it looks like they will roam in and at least put a little bit of pressure on that jungle to start things off. Maybe looking for an early first blood. Could be possible. But let's introduce our Dire side. It looks like we know how their lanes are going to go. Of course, we do have Team Empire here. Mag going to be on the long lane Clockwork, headed down to the bottom. Resolution going to be playing on the Slark in the solo mid. Vanscore going to be supporting up top, most likely on that Rubik. Always want to fly. Going to be in the jungle, playing on the Enigma. And that means Silent will be hard farming on Mirana once again. And, Silent may bump into trouble here. Does have a little bit of vision, knows that they're inbound, and will be able to walk away. Still yet to skill a point, so could grab Leap if things get a little sticky here. Of course, could also grab Arrow if they think they can turn it around, but nope, Empire just going to play this defensively, and
here comes the jungle blocking.
Going to walk through the jungle. Yeah, they're going to throw a sentry down here to block one of the big camps, and they're going to throw another one down here for this new medium camp.
And Rubik doesn't have sentries of his own.
And this one...
They can't counterward them.
This will block this camp, I believe, right? This guy? It should. It's far enough over, I think that blocks it.
No, I think it's impossible to block that camp unless if something really weird has happened, so that that camp shouldn't be blocked. But regardless, I don't think Enigma can go into that jungle anyway. It's too ineffective for him.
Yeah.
And it seems like Always Wanna Fly has figured that out and will be starting in the Radiant jungle, which I think is a very good choice if he can get in. That's the big if, as Pass is already there with the Crystal Maiden, and that means that if Always Wanna Fly tries to come up the hill here, if Pass is in the right position, he can't really get in. He'll just force him away with a Frostbite, and that's a devastating blow to Empire's strategy if Pass should go up here. But he does go right, and that actually means Always Wanna Fly will get into the jungle unnoticed.
Wow.
And will be able to start farming here, so kind of a fortunate Kind of a fortunate start here for Empire. I think they could have gone way worse.
Uh-oh, Mag in trouble, though. He is going to burn the cogs. It will trap Timbersaw inside. And Sachka still looking for an opportunity to pursue. Mag gonna use the salve straight away, and he is gonna survive. But very aggressive start down here in the bottom as Crystal Maiden did come in with a frostbite. And Mag will be back up to full health. Enigma still nearby. This could still be difficult for him, though, as Paz on the Crystal Maiden is on the bottom lane and will be able to rotate into the jungle and can make Enigma's life a little bit more difficult, especially once he gets another level under his belt for a bit more regen. Up in the top lane here, looks like we do see a bit of damage exchanging. It is going to be Bane as well as Lifestealer up against the Rubik as well as the Mirana, and I guess we should take this opportunity to introduce Sigma. We've got Mad, the fucking Mad, the bucking Mad, whatever you want to call him. Looks like he's trying to rebrand as the Mad, so that's what we'll call him here. He's going to be on the Bane. Miggle, I like to call him Miguel, going to be on the Lifestealer, both up in the top. Fada, with this cute little name here, going to be on the Puck in the solo mid. Sachka, tagged up as Paris, going to be the Timbersaw in the bottom lane, and of course Paz, we already know, playing the Crystal Maiden here on the bottom lane as well. Oh, up top, Silent taking a lot of damage, but he will be able to leap back to safety. And you were right also, this camp did spawn, so I should just start trusting you at face value, Cinder, and you seem to be right more often than not.
I think you did trust me, though, when I said it works.
I believed you.
Or that it spawns.
Yeah.
I think the reason you're wondering is that if you look at the spawn boxes, the way they're drawn in Dota 1, it kind of looks like that ward would block, but it doesn't. I'm not sure in Dota 1 if you place it perfectly, if it actually blocks there, but in Dota 2, for as long as the game's been there, it didn't block. Now, top lane Vanscore will get the lift off. I'm not sure this is going to be enough. Didn't manage to toss away Miggle here, actually. Will be taking lots of damage. It will go down. Nice aggressive play here coming out from Sigma, and I was not expecting them to get a kill in this lane, to be honest, because Mirana will be farming and Rubik can stand in a defensive position, but a little bit too far forward there, does get slapped by Mad, and a very nice setup here for Sigma.
Yeah, and who better to get that 400 First Blood bounty on the Lifestealer, of course, so now his farm going to be in good shape, and will get a little bit more momentum in this lane. Now Empire going to be forced to play a little bit more defensive as they are at the level disadvantage. In the jungle, though, Paz trying to interrupt the farming of Enigma, and now he is going to get engaged on. Mag did come in, already burned the battery assault, now going to use Cogs, will push Paz further away. And, well, no kill's going to come out quite yet, but Fada roaming in, and now he might be able to do a little bit of cleanup. There's going to be a disconnect, so we'll have a pause. And, wow, Paz really taking a lot of the focus here of both Mag and Always Want to Fly. Timbersaw is basically in free farm heaven here. Sachka already 17-1 up in front of the tower and starting to chip away at it. So Paz has really done an effective job just toying with the Enigma as well as the Clockwork.
I think Empire are doing the right thing, though. I think they have to. The problem is if Paz gets to move inside the jungle the way he wants, he gets to pull, he gets to disrupt Enigma's farm and steal Enigma's experience. As of the new patch, of course, can just be close to the camp and take part of his experience of those creeps. And Mag is not going to win this lane against Timbersaw anyway, the way it started. He simply can't do it. It's just a difficult situation to be in. Playing Enigma in the opposite jungle against any sort of strong support is very tricky, and like you said, Paz is playing it the right way and can afford to do so since Sigma is winning top lane anyway. So looking good for Sigma so far, I have to say. They're also showing on the graphs. Golden XP lead against a team that has agreed to support in Enigma in the start is a very good beginning for them.
Yes, that's absolutely right. We've seen Enigma quite a bit over the past few days, and it seems we always go back to that early experience edge that he gives you, usually a little bit of a gold edge as well. So that's a big change of pace and speaking to the power that Sigma have in these lanes. We haven't talked about mid too much, but it seems Puck is faring pretty well against the Slark, sitting 14-3 against the 12-5 Slark being played by Resolution. So it is a fairly even exchange. Slark did go for a bottle, does have a regeneration rune there bottled up, and I believe Puck has a bottle as well that he's been crowing. Resolution actually going to get harassed back, but with a regen, not too big of a deal. And yep, there's Puck's bottle on its way back to the mid lane. So a fairly even spread. Puck probably had a little bit more of an edge, but he did rotate right before that pause down into the jungle. So I guess that did give Resolution a little bit of breathing room to make some recovery farm to level it out a bit.
Worth noting, this top lane that I was expecting Mirana to have a much better time than she does, but they're really being locked down by Sigma in this top lane, and that's without Mad skilling and Feeble even. Mirana's just getting flat out farmed by the Lifestealer here quite a lot. He's 18-9, Mirana's 8-2.
Yeah.
This was not how I was imagining this lane would go.
Yeah, myself included. And I think that first kill was just more of a misplay from Vanscore. As you mentioned, when he used the telekinesis on Lifestealer, he didn't actually push him back, and I don't know that would have been enough to keep him alive, but would have bought him maybe another second or two, and, well, things could have gone a bit differently. But we'll switch focus down to the bottom lane here as Mag going to be in some trouble. Nightmare going to come out, and they're going to set this up. Should be an easy kill on the Clockwork, and indeed it is. Poss going to use that Frostbite. Sachka going to come in with a Whirling Death, which is level 3. No points in Timber Chain. Sachka's had so much room here. He's able to go the very greedy build and just forego Timber Chain here at level 5, and he's going to get away with it. Really no pressure coming his way as he continues on as our last hit leader.
And Empire? Oh, we're looking for the Slark. I feel like Resolution needs to be the big player here for Empire early on. When you put this much focus on a Slark by putting him in a solo mid position, and that you kind of sacrifice your other lanes, to be honest, the bottom lane for Mag was hard, the Enigma didn't get too much, the top lane has been losing, then Slark really needs to pay off.
Yeah.
And can start rotating very effectively, especially here during the night time when it's harder for the enemy team to have vision to break his ultimate with the passive part of that, of course. He can start doing some effective roaming here. Timbersaw up top is going to get Maleficed, but it's level 2 only, so the stun duration really not that long.
Still no
Arrow
chain.
not being cast.
Oh, Sachka may be okay here. Nope, there's a close range Sacred Arrow. He will get defensively slept here, compliments of that Nightmare, and wow, he may actually be able to survive this. Still no points in Timber Chain. He does walk away, compliments of Mad. There's the Dream Coil. Now Fada going to go in. That's going to be the end of Vanscore. He's already finished off Always Want to Fly on that Enigma. Meanwhile, Slark hops around the backside, does finish off the Timbersaw, but it's going to cost him here. He has burned that ultimate. Arrow flies, whoa, right between the two heroes. Going to be slightly off the mark, and Resolution is going to pay for it. Double kill coming out for the Bane, and needless to say, a great exchange for Sigma. They get 3 kills for 1, and also on some high-value targets, that Slark in particular, going to take a dent in the net worth.
Absolutely incredible use of Nightmare there by Mad. That bought so much time for the Timbersaw to get all his spells off, survive the initial initiation. Oh, here we go. Silent in trouble again. Will stay alive, though.
Yep, but Vanscore maybe not so lucky. He does dodge the Chakram. Arrow going to come. Will connect with Fada. He doesn't have too much mana here to spare anyhow, and they will just turn in about face as Enigma comes in. Only level 5, so Hole not a threat quite yet, but another port, it is going to be the Slark. So I think Sigma with the right idea here to back out, as Slark will have the ultimate up in just a couple seconds, and can do a fair bit of damage here, though this is turning into madness up here in the top lane. It is a 4 versus 4. Down in the bottom right now, it is still Mag and Miggle just farming away. Lifestealer saying, you know what, I don't really want to fight, guys. I really just want to farm. I'll take that bottom safe lane while you guys have some fun up top. That's okay with me. But now it looks like Sigma will break it up. Fada going to return to the mid, and they will continue to farm, but not over quite yet. Now Poss in trouble, and yeah, he's going to fall. Are they going to be able to get a recovery kill, though? No, they are not. Oh.
Might even be 2 going the way of Empire here.
Hook shot coming in. Paris heading for the hills. Still no points in the Timber Chain. Oh, no. There is going to be a Fiend's Grip, though. That's going to be a turn on Clockwork. Always Want to Fly is going to be able to ding level 6. And the Black Hole going to connect with both. Timbersaw will get finished off, but now Miggle going to make his way back up here, and they might be able to grab another kill on Resolution. He is going to leap into the trees. The Infest going to do a little bit of damage, but he is going to be able to regenerate back up. Resolution going to survive for now. Miggle going to burn the Rage, is going to turn back towards the tower. This is just a chaotic exchange up here, but across all of those fights, all that damage that came out, Sigma still in the lead. Oh man, this fight's still not over. Silent taking a lot of damage. He's already used the leap, but now maybe an overcommitment from Miggle. Going to be able to rage out. Nightmare comes off. He is going to try and make it into the jungle. More support comes. Fada's back. That's going to be a Dream Coil. That'll be a Waning Rift. Down goes the Rubik. Down goes the Enigma as well. They're going to continue to pursue here. They want Silent. Doesn't have leap for another 8 seconds. I don't know that they're going to be able to grab him. Fada is yet to have a blink, of course, still very early on, and the Slark was actually able to port out. He was stuck in the trees that whole time, but he made it back to the base, and Silent will survive. So that was a mouthful there, Cinderin. Trying to swallow that. Now going to be 8-3 here at the 9-minute mark. Sigma with a very sizable lead, though. 4,000 gold, about 3,000 experience.
They got the better of that in so many ways. They got the best kills. They made Enigma use the Black Hole to get 1 kill. They got, let's see, the Bane is still hasn't died. I feel like Matt has been the MVP so far. His Nightmares have done so much work for them. Excellent play by Nightmaring as well as gripping in the last fight. The good Black Hole that Fly did get off. It wasn't really enough because they... Oh, sorry, always want to fly, but kind of Fly guy. They couldn't get anything out of it. They didn't have the damage available, and when Sigma gets off to this kind of a start in the laning phase, they're one of the best teams around, and they always play on lane dominance. I think this is the team in Europe right now, or in the West in general, that values laning the most. It's what they really try to do, always get strong lanes and play in the very, very early game on their laning position. Once they get their advantage, they generally don't lose the game, but if they have a hard laning phase, they've generally often drafted so much for the laning phase that they don't have the best of comeback lineups, but when they get a start like this, they're top class and looking very good in this game.
They definitely are, and you mentioned how well Mad's been playing. He is
Resolution gripped in mid.
Uh-oh, and well, speak of the devil, Mad going to continue on here. Resolution is going to fall. Mad has been involved in every single kill. He is now 3-0-6, and of course there are 9 kills on the field. So this Bane has been all over the place, and he has been making plays happen. More initiation up in the top lane, though. Pa's going to be in some trouble. He will get telekinesed into a Sacred Arrow, and actually is going to get nightmared. Again, the big plays coming out from the Bane. Not going to be enough to keep him alive, but it does delay the inevitable. Dream Coil comes out, and a 1 for 3 if you count that Slark falling in the mid lane before this. Now you're going to make it a 1 for 4 as well. Everything in exchange just for their support, Crystal Maiden. They'll be more than happy with this. They're going to continue to pursue onto Silent. No leap up for him, but I don't know. Is Mag going to be able to do it here? They're going to clear some trees, and I think they are going to be able to make this kill happen. The Brain Sap into a Whirling Death. Going to make for an easy kill onto Silent playing that Mirana. So now Sigma really starting to run away with it. Almost a 7,500 gold lead here, only 11 minutes in.
Empire just looks starved in this game. They haven't got anything. The top 3 farmers are on Sigma. The highest farmer on Empire by far is the Enigma from the jungle, who had a hard start. Or at least got challenged a little bit. Actually didn't have a hard start, but not the ideal one. So an Enigma who didn't have the best start as the highest farm on the team by this much, you're just flat out losing every lane. There's such a huge advantage going the way of Sigma that it's going to be almost impossible for Empire to overcome this with the lineup they've drafted. When Sigma gets off to a good start like this, there's going to be a Blink Dagger coming out on Puck now. Timbersaw is getting filthy rich and tanky as well. Lifestealer now with drums. We're only 11 minutes in, and Sigma are getting items that are considered incredible at 11 minutes in. The Puck Blink Dagger, yeah, there we go. The Puck Blink Dagger, not necessarily extremely early to have it at 11:30, but he also has a Magic Wand completed, a bottle, and treads. Yeah. Most importantly, many Pucks that get that pre-10-minute Blink Dagger don't get the treads first, but Vada even has that, so just everything going the way of Sigma. They're just completely rolling over this game.
And even something else, now that Bane going to grab a Gem of True Sight, of course, to try and deal with the Moonlight Shadow. Mirana hasn't even skilled Moonlight Shadow yet. It's a preemptive gem. Really speaks wonders to how far ahead they are here. Mirana, still only level 7, not too unusual to not have Moonlight Shadow quite yet, but they'll be ready and waiting for it once she does skill that ability. A mech on the way for Always Wanna Fly, does have the headdress, buckler complete, and going to be working on that recipe, but still a very slow start for the Enigma here. As, well, we talked about his early game quite a bit. In the mid, well, I'll catch the tail end of it, but Vanscore going to get juiced as Fada hops forward with a surprise inside, going to make for another easy kill now that he has that blink. And he's going to show it off to pick up a kill here in the mid lane. Tower count is only 1-0, but just an absurd amount of momentum. Looking at that net worth graph, that is a pretty scary disparity there. The bar graph way in favor of the green floating towards the top.
Slark really needs to make a play with this Invis Rune. I was surprised to see Resolution backing off. They have to go with this. This is the best chance they're going to get in the next 5 minutes, and they're actually not even going for it. He let the Invis Rune expire. Empire wasn't ready to take this gank, and I think now that that's been hasn't been used for anything, I think it's going to be Sigma just taking this tower for free. I don't see Empire being able to contest this. We'll let it go. And if they can't make moves out of an Invis Rune on a Slark during nighttime like this, then that really goes to show how far behind you are and how intimidated you are by your opponent. Yeah. It's they're simply afraid to make moves, and you can't afford that with such a momentum-based lineup as one you build around a Slark.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Smoke going to be used by Sigma as they rotate towards the mid lane. Mad and Pos will still be. Actually, Fada going to be smoked up as well. And it will be exposed. No one in the mid lane, but they are stationed around. Looks like Sigma just going to take out this last remaining Tier 1 tower for Empire. And again, I doubt Empire are going to be too eager to try and defend it. Looking at the inventories, there are just no core items on the side of Empire yet. Slark still basically just with power treads and bottle. And still no mech quite yet. Timbersaw now going to have a Vanguard. Even Silent doesn't have too much to his name. He's got a Bracer, got a Ring of Aquila, and some power treads, but nothing too crazy. And there it is. They will sacrifice that Tier 1 in the mid. Will buy Enigma some valuable time here to grab his mech. Man, couldn't have come too soon, as we'll see more initiation here. Slark and Rubik going to get juiced to start off the fight. Always want to fly, now going to get caught in the Fiend's grip. And I think Enigma going to fall right here before he can even use the mech. Nope, that was an overstatement. We'll be able to get the mech off, but going to fall very shortly after. The easiest 3-for-0 that Sigma are going to find all game, I think. Puck going to get hook-shotted, but is going to be A-okay. They're going to turn it around onto Mag. Frostbite comes out. And a few more auto attacks ought to do it. Puck gonna blink forward. Waning Rift to finish him off. Now Silent, he's up here with the creeps, trying to make something happen. And, well, he's using some fancy footwork here, but still gonna be a moot point. That was a 5-for-0 clean sweep exchange. Sigma with everybody still in the green. And I'm not surprised to see a tap out here from Empire. Sigma just running away.
This game is just over.
It's just over. Wow.
So over at 15 minutes, and like you said, people were probably thinking this was going to be a close game and a hard one to call as far as the bets go. I'm not sure exactly what they were like and what the community were expecting, but Sigma this was so one-sided. I think the most one-sided game we've had so far for the last few days, or at least today. We've had some one-sided games, so let's not make it too big of a statement, but yeah. Just a complete show of dominance on all lanes, on all movement, on all individual decision-making, just completely outplaying Empire in every aspect of the game.
Yeah, though Sigma is a team that does tend to make their opponents look worse than they truly are, because like you said, a team that focuses a lot on drafting for the laning phase, and once they get that momentum, they don't give you any breathing room. So I think it looked almost a little bit more one-sided than it was. They had some successful lanes, and I think it almost all started with that first blood coming on the Lifestealer. That was actually his only kill. Miggle ending 1-0-5. So a very quick one here, guys. We're going to have a good 20-minute break until the next match comes up. And, of course, coming up next will be Sigma versus the Q-Pad Red Pandas. So they're going to be hot off this win over Empire. We'll see how they fare against Q-Pad coming up at 20 CET. Again, I'm Zyori. With me today is Synderen. Thank you for joining us here on Beyond the Summit for your Starladder Season 8 English commentary. We'll be back after this short break.